Get out of here, both of you. What are you laughing at? Like gleam like a flashlight behind me. Someone used Google Translate a little heavily on that one. Get out. Out! Hello, my frugal friends, and welcome to today's video. If you have not been here before, my name is Christine and welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. Today I am doing a really fun video with three of my buddies. So let me tell you about them real quick. First up, we have Amy Marion, and I adore her videos because she does the most amazing budget grocery hauls ever. I am highly jealous of her clearance grocery stores. Like, I want to go visit her just so I can go to her stores and then like drive across the country and bring it all back home. She does these huge once a month freezer meals. She has so much energy. She makes me exhausted. Next up, we have Kimmy from She's in Her Apron. If you don't know who that is, you must not be on YouTube because I have been watching Kimmy for like 5 years. She doesn't live too far from me. I mean, it's a couple hours, but it's not that far. And I've just enjoyed her vlogs forever, as I'm sure you have as well. Last but definitely not least, my friend Tiffany from Simple Wife, Simple Life. I have done videos with her in the past and she was gracious enough to join us four on this Make Ahead Holiday Favorites video. So just a shout out to those girls right now. Their videos will be down below in the description box for you. All of us are bringing you different holiday favorites that you can make ahead. I mean, doing everything in one day, ain't nobody got time for that. We're going to have a combination in my video of freezer items that you can make ahead and freeze for the big holiday dinner, whether it's for Thanksgiving or Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever holiday it is that you celebrate, as well as some make ahead neighbor gifts. Because if you're anything like me, neighbor gifts are kind of a big deal. All of my neighbors kind of go all out. It's actually really, really fun. And I've been doing jam over the last several years because I just make a lot of jam. Just call me the jam lady. But this year I want to do something a little bit different. So I'm super excited to share that with you. Without further ado, let's get right into my 5 holiday make ahead favorites.
We are going to start off with rolls. I have a dedicated video for these rolls. I will leave the link down below in the box for you. But basically, we've got 2 tablespoons of yeast, 2 cups of warm water, let it hang out for a bit, and then add 1/3 cup of sugar, 1/3 cup of melted butter, 1 egg, or you can sub the egg for 1/2 cup of mashed potatoes, which I do often, 2½ teaspoons of salt, 2/3 cup of dry milk powder, and about 5 to 6 cups of flour or so. I like to do this in my Bosch because first of all, the Bosch can handle a lot, so I can double it, triple it, and no big deal. And then I know when it's done, when it cleans the sides of the bowl, just like this. I dump it into an oiled bowl and cover it with a like clean tea towel or something, kitchen towel, until it has risen double. Now, I got this roll recipe from my good friend Melanie when I lived in Texas. I have no idea if Melanie watches these videos, but if she happens to watch this one, shout out Melanie. These are your rolls and still one of my favorites. So after they're done rising, put them on a sprayed baking sheet. I think about 20 rolls. Once you're done with that, cover them with the tea towel again, let them rise again. These are seriously like the best rolls on the planet Earth. Mashed potato in place of the egg, I don't know what it does, but it's like, oh my gosh, it's so delicious. And then, of course, once it's done rising, go ahead and pop it into the oven, 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. You'll know when they're done. They look like this. Grab a Ziploc bag, shove in the amount of rolls you would like to freeze, and then stick them in the freezer. I have done this so many times. And the day of Thanksgiving, the day of Christmas, pull them out the night before, let them thaw on the counter. I don't worry about serving piping hot rolls out of the oven. I have enough stuff going on to worry about the temperature of the rolls. They thaw beautifully and are perfectly good to eat with some butter or jam, or honestly, I don't need anything else. They're good just the way they are. I don't know about you, but for big holidays, we like to have a treat, a breakfast treat that we don't have often. I've done bundt rolls or like monkey bread kind of stuff, and I've also done cinnamon rolls. Man, it's just the prep work. It takes so long. It's so annoying. Basically, you're going to mix warm water, sugar, oil, and yeast in your mixer of choice. I like the Bosch because it holds a lot, obviously. If you want to know more about the Bosch, I have a link down in my Amazon store. Anyway, you let the yeast stuff sit for like 15 minutes or so, and then you add the salt, the eggs, and the flour. Because you add so much yeast, you can see it like bubbling up like crazy right here. This rises very, very quickly. I will leave a link below for a blog that this recipe hails from. It took me a really long time to find a cinnamon roll recipe that I liked. I'm super, super picky when it comes to like the perfect recipe for certain things, you know, like the perfect roll, the perfect biscuit, the perfect pie crust. And I feel like I found all of those things and I'm excited to share them with you because, you know, if you can have these in your back pocket, you know, everybody will think you're an amazing cook, which is really, really fun. So after you mix this all up, wow, that's a lot of flour. Kind of looks like it's going to explode, doesn't it? Holy moly. Yeah, the Bosch is so awesome. It can hold easily like 15 cups of flour. It's fantastic. So kind of the same story as the rolls. You just mix it up until it pulls away from the bowl and then I just let it sit in the Bosch. And so while that was rising, it doesn't take very long. I mixed up the cinnamon and sugar for the filling, a little bit of melted butter, about a half a cup or so, maybe a little bit more if you like it super buttery, which I do. Take your big ball of dough and you're going to divide it into, and then do your standard cinnamon roll mush, right? I don't use a rolling pin for this. I just use my hands and mush it out into like a square. Add about half the butter or so, and then your cinnamon sugar mixture, or if you want to do orange rolls, this is where you would be adding the orange. We have a fight in our house. Cinnamon rolls. Do you add raisins to the filling or no? Raisins or no? Where do you stand? Because we are household divided on that topic. I won't tell you what I think and I won't tell you what Dave thinks, but let me know down in the comments and we'll have a discussion about it. And then hopefully I can prove to Dave that he is wrong. So roll this up as tight as you can. I like to go away from me. I feel like I can go tighter. Your hands will get messy here. So just put on an apron, start with clean hands and just accept the fact that you're going to be messy. And if you have a helper, that would be really, really good. So my tip as far as cutting cinnamon rolls is to do it with dental floss. You can do this cool little swipe like this. It just cuts it so nicely. A knife will mush it a little and then put them in the pans you would like to cook them in. I have never frozen these, but my friend Heather freezes them all the time. And so I was taking her advice on this and I learned a few things along the way. I was putting them in these throwaway freezer tins because I just thought they would be really easy to like bake them in there, stick them in the freezer, done and done. But what I learned is they don't cook evenly in like foil things. So go ahead and cook them in the cookie sheet like you would normally. Yes, you do want to cook these before you freeze them. Go ahead and cook them, let them cool completely, and then stack them in your foil thing. Cover them with saran wrap and then foil once, Christmas morning or whatever, get them out the night before so they thaw completely. Put them in the oven with foil only on the top at 350, warm them for 10 minutes, and then go ahead and top them with your favorite cream cheese frosting. Please do the cream cheese frosting. It's so much better than the glaze, don't you think? Like the cream cheese frosting just takes these over the top, so I highly recommend doing that. These are bomb, and you don't even have to cook them all the way through. Just thaw them and rewarm them in the oven. I'm telling you, they're going to work perfectly. Next up, we have homemade lemon curd. I got this idea from someone at Dave's work had gifted us some homemade lemon curd last year, and it was life-changing. So I just have a bunch of lemons, squeeze them. Please use fresh juice in this. The bottled juice does not taste the same. And I actually do have a citrus juicer attachment for my Bosch, but I couldn't find it this day, so I had to do it by hand. Yay me. So you're going to start with 3/4 cup of lemon juice in a saucepan, 1 tablespoon of grated lemon zest. I have a microplane that I use to do that. 3/4 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. That may have been salted, I don't know. It ended up tasting fine, so salted, unsalted, it's all the same. 3 eggs. So we're going to put this on really, really low heat, and here's the tricky part, is if you just pour the eggs in, you're going to end up with lemon juice and scrambled eggs. You want to temper the eggs, which is slowly add the hot liquid into the egg container, whisk it, and then once they're warm, add the eggs to your container. I actually did a fine mesh strain on this also just in case there were any teeny tiny cooked egg bits to really make it smooth. You want to heat it on low heat very, very slowly for about 20 minutes until it comes to this really beautiful thickness right here. And then pour it into the jars that you want to give to your neighbors. I would probably triple or quadruple this batch. Keep some for yourself. You won't regret it. Next, we have cornbread dressing. Now, this is one of the most delicious things on the planet Earth. We're going to start by mixing up 3 packages of just Jiffy cornbread mix. Follow the instructions on the box, except for you are going to add 1/4 cup of sugar for each box you do. So if you only do 2 boxes, do a half a cup. If you do 3 boxes like I did, do 3/4 of a cup of just granulated sugar. Trust me, it will all come together later. I know a lot of people are wondering the difference between dressing and stuffing, and I am here to tell you the answer. Stuffing goes actually inside the turkey and dressing is cooked outside of the turkey. So that's why this is dressing. It's not cooked in the turkey. And it's cornbread dressing because clearly we use cornbread instead of regular bread. Aside from adding the sugar, you're just going to mix this up like it says on the box, stick it in the oven, bake it until it comes out nice and golden brown, and then let it cool 100%. This is why I like to do this ahead of time because it is a process to put this together. And so I like to break it up into 2 days so I'm just not in the kitchen all day, and making it the day of while you're trying to do everything else is just too much. You're going to crumble all of the cornbread into a large bowl and set it to the side. In a really big pan on your stove, you're going to cook 1 pound of hot, spicy Jimmy Dean sausage. Please do the spicy one. Don't be scared. And then you're going to add onions, bell peppers, jalapenos, and celery. A little bit of garlic if you have it. I didn't have it today, so I just didn't add it. But that's okay. There's lots of flavoring in the sausage. Please don't leave any of this out, including the jalapeno. Trust me, the spicy with the sweet cornbread is going to mix really well together. Add 1 pound of a kielbasa sausage and cook all of this together until the meat is totally cooked and the onions and celery are translucent. Once everything is done cooking, you're going to dump it all into the cornbread bowl, including the fat, including everything, and start stirring. When I was mixing this up, Dave and Haley walked in and they were like, "Oh my gosh, is this what we're having for dinner? I love you so much." And I was like, "No, I'm making it for Thanksgiving ahead of time," and they were not happy. We are almost done with this because we're not baking it this day, so just dump it into whatever, disposable foil pan you would like to. Cover it with saran wrap and foil and stick it in the freezer. And how you're going to cook this is on the day before you want to cook it, pull it out to thaw completely, and then you're going to stick it in your oven with no lid. And you're going to drizzle about 1 to 1.5 cups of chicken broth over the top of it before you stick it in the oven. Put it in, cook it for about an hour until the top is like brown and crispy and most of the liquid has been soaked up. You can also add turkey legs or chicken legs. I just didn't happen to have them.
The last item we're going to do for the Make Ahead holiday favorites is one more neighbor gift. And I did have to order some items off of Amazon. Now I tried to go to my local store. I needed vanilla beans. My local store totally out of bulk vanilla beans, which are the cheapest way to buy them. So I went to look at the little jars, wholly expensive. $24 for 2 vanilla beans. I don't know that I can do that. So I went to my trusty friend Amazon, found the Madagascar 10-pack grade A vanilla beans for $30. So I have 10 vanilla beans in here for $30 versus 2 vanilla beans for $20. Just to make it more fun, since these are gonna be neighbor gifts, I also got like pretty little glass bottles to put them in to give to the neighbors. Let's see what they look like. It's a 12-pack of these little brown amber looking bottles. They hold 4 ounces each. And if you're curious as to what else is in here, because I do have more things, this is for me and Dave's trip. Travel pillows. I've never used a travel pillow, but we're taking a red eye. Does it go this way? Yeah? How do I look while I'm sleeping? Is it a good look? What? No? You don't like it?
It's funny.
They were super, super cheap. Ooh, squish that.
Ooh, it's memory.
Warning, non-edible. It says non-edible. You know why they put that on there, right? Because someone tried to eat it.
It's probably
It doesn't make
translated
sense.
from Chinese.
No. Am I reading it wrong? Comma, period. They're missing a lot of words in that sentence.
I said probably translated from
Wow.
Chinese.
Anyway, that's not for this video, but these are. I'm not going to be making it this exact second because I'm about to go out on a date with my husband, but we will put this together tomorrow in my time in about 1 second in your time. So let's do it now. You've been wanting to pass out your homemade vanilla to all of your good friends who live next to you, but all of a sudden you remembered you didn't start 6 months ago like you should have. Oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Don't you worry, I got your back. With your handy dandy Instant Pot, you can have your homemade vanilla ready for your neighbors in an hour. It's not just for roasts and frozen chicken, you guys. It is so easy. Here's how it's gonna go down. So you're gonna get your Instant Pot and put your little rack thing in there. 3 16-ounce jars. I'm using wide mouth because that's what I have. Oops, there's some water in that one. 3 rings with lids. If you're gonna do the full batch, you're gonna need 6 full vanilla beans. You'll need 2 vanilla beans for each jar and the alcohol of your choice. Today, I'm using vodka. You wanna get 80 proof, nothing higher, please. Of course, you could use bourbon as well. This is stupid easy. Split the vanilla beans, put 2 in each jar, pour vodka over the top, put the lid on, place it on the rack in the Instant Pot, put 1 cup of water at the bottom of the Instant Pot and put the lid on. So let's get going.
Let's keep this short and sweet since I already kind of told you how we're going to do it. So we're just going to split the vanilla beans down the center. You don't have to scrape anything out. 2 per jar. This bottle of vodka was able to do 3 jars. Plus, that's all you can fit in the Instant Pot anyway. So just cover the vanilla beans, fill the jars, put the lids on. Put 1 cup of water in your Instant Pot with the rack. Place the jars inside, pop the lid on, and go ahead and turn it on high pressure for 60 minutes and then let it do a natural release for another hour. Once you open it up, dude, these will be hot. So make sure you have gloves on or this little canner scoopy thingy. And I set them on a towel and let them sit overnight. Look at them bubble. Isn't that funny? And then in the morning, they actually were darker in color. And then I went ahead filling these bottles. I just got a funnel, filled them to not quite all the way to the top, just that curve of the bottle, and they are good to go.
And I cut the vanilla beans in half and stuck a half a vanilla bean in each bottle. This batch made 9 of these jars. You want to do more than 9 for your neighbors. Plan accordingly, double it or whatever you want to do. I have 9 homemade vanillas to give to my neighbors. I'm like really excited about this. It's one of those things that you're always like, oh, I want to make my own vanilla, but then you never do it just because it takes so long. And the Instant Pot has taken all of the guesswork out of it. It's so exciting. And if you are more crafty than I am, you can make nice labels. You can print them out and put them on here. Now, if you don't want to go to the trouble of doing the vanilla or the lemon curd that I had done in this video, you can always use my standby, and that's jam. Those are my 5 items. I hope you guys enjoyed all of the recipes and tricks I shared with you today. I was personally very, very excited to find out about the vanilla Instant Pot trick. That's kind of life-changing for me. And then also knowing that you can make ahead the really time-consuming stuff like rolls, cinnamon rolls, and the cornbread dressing. You guys, Thanksgiving and Christmas is not Thanksgiving and Christmas without my family's cornbread dressing. But it takes so long to make. So making it ahead and freezing it is like the perfect, it just makes me so happy. Once again, if you have not checked out the other ladies' videos, their links will be down below for you. Make sure you go check them out. Tell them I sent you over there. We've got Kimmy, Amy, and Tiffany from She's in Her Apron, Simple Wife, Simple Life, and Amy Marion. And if you are new to my channel from any of their channels, thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, I would love it if you would drop me a like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. I loved hanging out with you guys today. Playing in the kitchen is one of my favorite things ever, and I love hanging out with my internet friends. Thanks again. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.